he doesn't take his medicine on a regular basis, you know what, he ends up with a much worse condition that's going to cost a whole lot more than what those drugs are. I think that we're being very short-sighted by having things like that. It's silly. I think that we need to take some of that same money, and I'm going to tell you that it's a crying shame that we'll have people that fly in here from overseas that are here from foreign countries, and they get medical care the day they get here, but our veterans have to stand in line. That's wrong. I would like to take a block grant, and I've tried this before, and we almost got it through, and say to the federal government, please, give us that money. Let Tennessee, let us do a better care of our own people than what's being done in Washington, D.C. I can tell you something that we did have. They gave me a bill, and they said, we're getting $6 million from the federal government. And they're going through it, and they said, we got to pay about $80,000 for condoms. And the increase was huge in condoms. And I said, why? And they said, because Tennessee is no longer going to be able to give generic condoms. They had to be name brand. and I said, you can't be right. Who would do that? And I said, I'm not voting for this. I'm going to be absolutely saying no. And they said, Representative Pody, this is the truth. This is what the federal government. I said, you go back and find it. I want to see that. And sure enough, the federal government came in and said, we can only give name brand. And it's like, this is incredible, costing Tennessee $80,000 more for stupid things like that. We can do a whole lot better with our health care than what's being done by Washington, D.C. Now, if we look at what the bill was that Graham was trying to pass a couple weeks ago, that would have been almost the same thing. That would have given us that kind of opportunity to make a difference, to make sure that we don't let people slip through the cracks. We can't do that. We're not a throwaway society. I think we've got to take care of the most vulnerable. But there's a better way than making somebody have to go to an emergency room just because they're hurt. I would have much rather said, in the bill we were trying to look at, we said, why not have a little minute clinic out front of that emergency room, so if somebody's sick and they don't have insurance, they can at least go there to get their cold, whatever, much better cost, but if they really need it, they're going to pass them right through to the hospital, but not all those tests had to be done in the hospital. It would have saved us a lot of money with just simple things like that, giving people the health care that they need, desire, at a much better cost, so we can invest it in those that need it more. And I'm going to flat tell you, the people on Medicare, the people that have worked their entire life putting into the system, they need to be at the head of the line. I've had single mothers that come and say, Mark, I can't get on TennCare. But I have watched others get on that system that I don't think deserve it. They've never put into our system not one penny. And yet they're brought over here and put in Tennessee where we didn't even want them. But the federal government forced us to take them and say, now you're going to have to care for them at the expense of the people that needed it, that Tennesseans. And I'm going to tell you, that makes me angry, and I think it's wrong. I don't want to be cold-hearted. I don't want to say I don't want to take care of everybody. But I am saying, don't come over here to our state, expect us to pay for everything that you have, and then want to complain about what we're doing. It's not right. I would put us first. That's my